Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Tina Marie, and if you guys are new here, welcome and thank you so much for clicking on this channel and for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy this review as well. If you guys are already a subscriber, thank you so much for supporting the channel and for being here and just watching my videos. It means a lot to me that you guys are here, and that's the reason why I do my reviews. It's all for you guys. And today I am going to be reviewing the new holiday palettes from Hourglass, and these are so beautiful, and I'm going to show you the packaging. This is the Dragon palette. This one's the lightest. This is fair to light. And then next I do have right here the Evil Eye. This one, it's for medium to tan, and it looks like that. And then next and lastly, it's the Lotus Flower. The Lotus Flower, it's for deep to dark skin, and I feel like this is one of my favorite palettes because the colors are so beautiful, and I'm going to show you and I'm going to compare it to last year's dark palette as well, so that you guys can have a reference of how they look like and how they translate. And these retail for $90. It is pretty pricey, but I feel like these are well worth it, especially if you're gonna travel and you want like variety of like finishing powder, blushes, bronzers, and all that. And you can even use it as an eyeshadow palette to create a whole like monochromatic look, and it will look amazing, and you don't have to carry a lot of stuff. And also the packaging, I must say, it's so beautiful, and I'm going to show you how they look like. So I'm going to start off with the lightest palette. This one looks like this, the Dragon palette. It's so beautiful. I like the whole detail, and they did use the same artist as last year, and I think the previous year was different, but I think last year and this year it's the same artist. And I like the whole like how it feels. It's very heavy. The only downside is the actual mirror, because it doesn't really hold up. It just like goes down, and it can be very annoying to like keep, you know, holding it up when you're trying to do your makeup. But I do appreciate the mirror, how it's really big, and you could just like be able to see yourself pretty nicely here when you're doing your makeup. Now this is the palette. It's always a 6 palette color, and they're all new shades except for one in each palette. And I can appreciate that this year they did hear us when it comes to having cool or neutral undertone bronzers, because I felt like every year they had the same type of warm bronzers, and there's a lot of us that are not even warm undertone. I am olive skin, you know the battle. You know that some olive skin is not warm, and it can translate either orange, it could translate peach, or even too pink, and it just never is right. Like we can't get it right all the time, you know what I mean, when it comes to like having bronzers or foundation. You guys know how difficult it is. So I'm kind of glad that they made it a little bit more inclusive this year. And I'm going to be talking about the other palettes as well when it comes to the shadings. So I'm going to start off by reading the colors. So on number 1, it's going to be the Dim Light. So this one is already in their permanent collection, and it translates like this. It's a very nice yellow undertone setting or finishing powder. And this one doesn't really translate warm at all, maybe because it's very light. And then next it's the Peach Infusion. So it looks like this. I'm going to show you. So it's kind of like, it has a sheen to it. It is more peachy than pink. It's quite different, and it just looks more muted. It doesn't look like it's a hot coral peachy pink that you would normally see you know, in different brands. And then this one is one of their new ones too, after Peach. This one's also new, and this one's Divine Light. Divine Light is more on the cooler undertone side. It's like that neutral cool, and when you put it on, it does translate a little bit light, and this palette is just for those who have fair to light skin. So that kind of does give meaning to the color story here. And then next we're gonna do this one. This one is Mauve Haze. Mauve Haze, it's kind of also muted, and it does have a nice natural satin finish, and it looks like that. And then we have, I'm running out of hands, so I'm gonna do my bronzer on my thumb, and then last I'm gonna be doing the highlighter. But this one is called Soft Bronze. It looks like this. It looks kind of cool on my thumb, but then when I put it on my skin, it does translate a little bit warm. So we'll see when I do the swatches on my arm. And then I'm going to clean my hand. I'll be back so I can show you the highlighter. So I'm ready. I'm back here to be able to show you the colors that I'm going to be using on one side. And I'm not going to be doing the finishing powders just because they're too light and you won't be able to detect too much of a difference. I'm going to be doing just on each side a different blush and the bronzer on one side as well as the highlighter. And that's how we're going to do it for the rest of the video. So I am going to be doing first the Mauve Haze as my blush. So I'm going to take my BK Beauty 109 brush, and it's like an angle brush, and you could use it for foundation, but in this case I'm just going to use it as my blush brush. So I'm tapping it and I'm just going to put it on the side so that way you guys can see how it looks like. So it's a pretty muted mauve color, and it's alright. It's not my cup of tea. It's not something that I would, you know, use on a daily basis. I really don't fall for these colors, but maybe for someone that has more of that muted complexion and hair color and everything, if you have done your color analysis, there's some people that are more on the muted side, like for example fall like seasons tend to be a little bit more muted, as well as summer, but this is more of that kind of like in between warm and neutral. And I feel like on me, it just doesn't sit right with my coloring. You know, I am a winter palette, and this just, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't do much for me. Okay, so now I am going to go ahead and do the bronzer. So I am going to take this big BK Beauty brush. This is the 101. And I'm just going to tap a little bit of the bronzer. So it looks like it's translating a little bit warm. So let's take a look of how it looks like here on my forehead. So on my forehead, it does look a little bit, it's grabbing a little darker because I'm sweating and it's hot here in California. We're in the high 90s. So I think it's kind of nice. I thought this was going to translate a little bit lighter on me, but it looks nice. I actually like it. It does fall kind of like in that neutral cool side for sure. I do like it. Very, very nice. Now I'm going to do the highlighter. I'm going to do the highlighter right here on top. And it's a beautiful champagne color, and I really, really like it. It's looking very, very nice. Very, very beautiful. Now on the other side, I'm going to be doing the peach fuzz, and I'm going to be using my 108 brush. And I'm just going to tap a little bit right here and do this side. And this one's beautiful. This is more up my alley. It's more bright because I'm a bright winter. And it just looks very, very flattering. It looks like cohesive. Very nice. Yes, I do like it. It's very beautiful. And I'm not even that light. I'm not a fair skin. I'm more in the light olive side, but still kind of leaning towards almost medium side. So yeah, it does have a lot of pigment. I got surprised by this, and it's pretty nice, the payoff. So now I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to be doing the next palette, which is going to be the Evil Eye. So I'll be right back. All right, so I am back here again. I did apply foundation one more time, and now we're going to be doing the Evil Eye. This is how it looks like. It's such a beautiful packaging. I do adore it. I do like it. Oh, I think it's backwards. So it looks like this, and I'm going to open it up. And this is one of my favorite palettes of the whole Hourglass collection of the holiday ones that they have taken out. This is similar to the Elefant palette. I don't own it, but I have seen pictures of it, and I have seen that they have a hot coral like this one, and they do have like a pinky rose like this shade as well, and it just looks very similar. So if you do own that one, I don't think you would need this one at all, but I do like this one because I don't own the Elefant palette, and I do like it. Also, I do want to say that they did take out the limited edition Elefant palette, but it comes in a different packaging, and I'm going to link that down below. So if you guys are interested for the other one, then you could do that, but I don't think you need two for this occasion. Now I'm going to show you guys the color story right here, and on this side, this one is called Soft Light, and I'm not sure if this one is in the permanent collection or if it's this highlighter, but I know that all of these are new except for one, and I think it's a finishing powder, which is called Soft Light. And then we have Rose Gold, which is the Strobe Light, and then this one right here is called Pink Fusion. Then right here, Natural Bronze, then Vibrant Coral, and then right here, this one is... So I'm going to still swatch it on my arm so that you guys can see the shades and determine if you guys like this color story or not. But this is more for the tan to medium shade complexions, and I honestly like it. I would use it on my own because I feel like this is more up my alley because it's very bright and vibrant for my complexion. So I'm going to do this swatching on my arm, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. I'm going to still be doing a zoom in of the swatches that I'm doing for each palette. So I'm going to be doing that right now as we speak. If you're olive complexion, this will be your perfect palette for you. Just because it's not going to translate warm, orange, or even like too pink. So it's just perfect. For me, this is the right definition for a neutral palette for someone that has olive complexion. So now I'm going to be putting it on my face and see how it translates on my face, if it does the same way on my wrist. I know that can vary sometimes because our face is a completely different color than our body. So all right, I'm going to be taking again my BK Beauty brush, which is the 109, and I'm going to be doing the hot coral. So I'm going to tap the hot coral and apply it on my cheek ever so slightly. And these are very pigmented. Even the light palette was very pigmented. So for this one, make sure you do use a light hand for any of these. So this is beautiful. This is up my alley, and I do appreciate this a lot. And then I am going to take my BK Beauty brush in 101, and I'm going to tap this bronzer right here, which is called Natural Bronze. And I'm just going to put it on my forehead right here. And I'm just going to do one side. And it does translate very, very nicely as a cool, neutral bronzer. And I'm not trying to create a look. I'm just trying to show you how the colors translate on my skin. Now I am going to be taking this highlighter, which is a Rose Gold Strobe Light. For some reason, Hourglass calls Strobe Light highlighter. So I'm going to apply it on my cheek right here on my blush. And it's such a beautiful rose gold color because it doesn't translate orange. It translates more on the pinky cool side. And that's perfect for olive skin. Look at how vibrant and beaming for sure. So now I'm going to use a different color blush, but instead of using this one right here, which is a more rosy color, which is called Pink Fusion, I'm going to use the bottom one, which is called Oasis Glow, just because I want to see how that one translates on my skin, if it's olive friendly. So I'm going to tap my brush in here, and it does look kind of like a bronzer. I did get confused with the bronzer on this palette. So I'm just going to tap right here, and I'm using my round brush from BK Beauty 108, just if you're curious. And I'm going to tap this on my cheek, and it looks very beautiful. It's translating like very natural. It doesn't have like a warm undertone. It's very neutral, cool, and it does look kind of pinky, but not quite. It's just perfect. Very, very elegant. And I feel like in all the palettes, they do have a lighter blush that kind of looks very nude, and I can appreciate that a lot. So I do like this palette. I feel like I'm gonna grab this one a lot and very often. So now I'm gonna clean this up, and we're gonna do the next palette. All right, so I'm back to do the final palette. It's not the least. It's one of the most beautiful palettes for sure in this collection, and I'm going to show you really quick. So this is the Lotus palette, and I'm excited for this one because I feel like this palette is the darkest from all the palettes that they have taken out, and I can appreciate it for all the ladies that are more on the deeper skin tone. So I do want to see someone with darker complexion review this, especially the super deep undertone skin shades. I want to see how that looks like on them, especially this tone right here. It's going to look very beautiful and amazing and lovely, but I'm not too sure about the bronzer, just because I feel like it might be a tad light, and I'm going to show you. So it looks like this, and it is beautiful and rich, but I feel like we need a deeper shade. And I'm going to compare it later to the other palette that I have, which is the Snake palette. I believe it was last year. And the packaging, I did change it, I did modify it, but I do want to compare it once I am done with the video, because they did improve the color story to a deeper shade, but I feel like they need an option of changing or making this a little bit more deeper. Maybe next year, who knows. But yeah, so I'm going to be swatching this on my arm, and I'm going to show you the images, so I'll be back. And I am going to be taking my round brush, the 108, and I am going to try this shade right here, which is more of a natural shade, and I'm going to apply it as a blush. This one is a blush, but I'm just going to tap it right here on my face. And it's a beautiful shade. It's very natural, and you have to go in lightly. They are pigmented, especially this palette, and see how it translates very neutral. It doesn't look too warm, it doesn't look too cool. It's just perfect, that perfect pink for the no makeup look. That is just simply beautiful. Now I went with a light hand, so just so that you guys know, and then I'm gonna go in maybe with this highlighter. I'm not sure, it's too warm, it might not look great on me, so I won't probably swatch that on my face, but maybe I can do this blush on the other side. So I'm going to flip my brush, tap, and I'm going to go lightly because I don't want to look crazy, but I'm going to tap ever so slightly. So I put very little, and it's already looking like I have a ton of blush, but it's like a berry red color, which is very beautiful. Just going to blend it out. Such a beautiful color, especially right now for fall. That's coming up soon. Yeah, it's very, very lovely. I feel like deeper complexion will look amazing with this blush. And yeah, so that's how it looks like. And I'm not even going to bother with the bronzers because you guys already saw how deep it is. And even this one's too warm for me. And this one's on the cooler side, so I'm going to show you. So this one's a setting powder, or more like a finishing powder, and this is the bronzer, so it looks like that. So it is like a rich chocolate brown color, which is beautiful, but I feel like it needs to be even more darker. And what I'm thinking to problem solve this situation with the palettes, because I heard like a lot of people wanted to mix and match, I feel like they should start giving us an option, as well as the way that they give us an option to change this. They should give us an option to choose our bronzer, our blushes, our finishing powders. I feel like they should have an option of a darker shade and put it like there so that they can add it and then remove this one and put the darker shade here. That would be perfect. Like giving us that choice, that would be perfect. Hourglass, if you can do that for us, that would be amazing. That would save a lot of, like, you know, a lot of problems with people trying to match themselves with the palettes, because the palettes are beautiful, and I know that Hourglass tries to be very inclusive and try to listen to us each year to our needs of what we need as consumers. And I just feel like they need to start doing that, because even for me, like, I'm not a medium or deep complexion, but there's some that might look better on me on a medium palette than on the light palette, but then I need the setting or the finishing powder of the light palette, because a medium palette might be too dark or slightly dark. So it's all like, you know, a problem when trying to like be able to wear all the blushes, and you are paying like $90 for it. So I just feel like they should give us that option if we're paying that much. So I am going to be showing you guys the difference between both of these. Oh my goodness, I can't open it. Between the Tiger palette and the Lotus flower. And I can't open it because I'm left-handed. So it's like, see, this is for right-handed people. If it was left-handed, I would be able to open it here. So there we go. So this is last year's and this is this year. So this one is the Snake palette and this one is the Lotus flower palette. So I'm going to move it like this so that you guys can see it. So you can see the difference. Now you see the improvement of this being darker than this one, and I feel like this one's more warmer and this is more on the cooler side, so we can appreciate the palettes. And from this palette right here, I'm going to swatch the bronzer on my finger with this one right here. This one is the Lotus flower and this one is the Snake palette, so you can see the difference. This one's more warmer, this one's more cooler, and I am going to put it on my arm. So it translates like this. So this one is the cooler one from this year, and I'm just going to apply a little bit more so you guys can see it. And then from the other palette, I'm going to put a little bit more. So yeah, definitely this year they did listen to us when it comes to having cool bronzers. So it looks like that. This is the cooler bronzer and this is last year's warm bronzer. So you guys can decide. And yeah, so this year's was much deeper for sure. So yeah, so you guys, if you guys owned the last year palette, I feel like this year's deep palette is a must-have for you because it does have beautiful blushes, beautiful highlighters, and the setting powder is very nice. It's just the bronzer might be a tad light for you. Who knows? It's worth trying. I would like to see a review on someone that has a deeper skin tone. Now my last one that I'm going to be comparing is the Owl palette with the Dragon palette. These two are the lightest palettes, and I'm going to show you. It looks like this. It's hard to open. So this is the Owl palette, and then this one is the Dragon palette. So let me put these together and you can see the difference. This one's a little bit warmer, this one's more cooler. The color story is more softer on this side. This one is a little bit more vibrant. This one looks like it's a light to medium palette. This one looks more of the fair to light, which is really nice to see because they're becoming a little bit more inclusive when it comes to the spectrum of the shades. So yeah, so that is my review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless, and see you guys later for the next video.